I used to be addicted to YouTube. I would genuinely get 7 or 8 hour days on the weekends when I would just watch YouTube the whole day. And it would be stuff like YouTube gaming videos. It would be like some montage. It wouldn't even be like educational in the slightest. It'd just be honestly brain rot. I would watch like stuff that you genuinely don't even remember the very next day. Stuff that you don't even remember in the next hour. It was just to really entertain myself because I didn't really care about what was happening. And for a long while, I actually blamed YouTube for this. I blamed YouTube for being so addicting and giving me these kind of videos, but whenever you give something blame, you're giving them responsibility. So I wanted to make a change, right? I wanted to stop you watching YouTube. I wanted to reduce my screen time in general. But whenever I blamed YouTube on it, I gave it the responsibility. And for change, you need responsibility. You can't give away your responsibility by blaming something else. The moment I started blaming myself that it was my fault that I spent so much time on YouTube, then obviously I had the responsibility and so I could make a change. Now, like on the weekends, I'm pretty sure my screen time is 4 hours or less because I genuinely just have other things to do because I took responsibility and then I actually made a change. And that's why taking accountability is so important. You can't blame something else. Honestly, in reality, YouTube is at fault at a certain point because it does make very stimulating content. You can blame TikTok for your problems. You can blame Instagram, but if you do blame them, then you can't make a change. You just say TikTok's too addictive. The algorithm is trying to rot your brain. But the more you blame it, the less actual change you can make in yourself. The more you realize that you're only watching TikTok or YouTube is because you're the problem. You are the problem. And when you realize that, it's so much easier to make the change. Just taking responsibility, taking the blame. It's my fault is such a keystone for actually making a change. Like, it's genuinely the first thing that you need to make a change. Whenever I started working out, I realized that I was skinny and honestly unattractive because it was my fault. It wasn't even that like my diet was kind of it could have been better for sure. But really it was just because I wasn't fit, I wasn't exercising at all. Essentially like the PE at school would be my only exercise. Other than that, I would sit at home all day playing video games, genuinely sitting down. And when I realized that it was my fault, when I realized that I was skinny, genuinely looking like a walking skeleton because it was my fault. And once I made that realization, it made me so much responsible for my decisions. Like I realized that if I start working out, I won't be as skinny. Boom, like duh. But if you keep blaming stuff like, oh, video games are too addictive, I can't get away from them, like the more you blame them, the less you can actually do about it. It's your fault, bro. And if you take responsibility for your fault, you can actually do something about it. That's why accountability is so important.